2025 wasn't just another year in the world of Thai BL. It was a year of ends, beloved ships that once set hearts aflame, then quietly, painfully dissolved. Tonight, we're not just talking about endings, we're peeling back the reasons, the reactions, the raw emotions that surrounded the most impactful breakups of the year. This is not just drama, this is heartbreak. Segment 1, Om Leng, From Promise to Parting. Om Pawat and Leng Sothanapan, affectionately branded as Om Leng, were more than a simple pairing. They carried promise. They carried chemistry. They carried the kind of potential fans love to project into the future. That future abruptly changed on March 15, 2025, when GMMTV confirmed that their on-screen partnership would officially end. The announcement emphasized mutual understanding and respect, positioning the parting as a healthy career decision and encouraging both actors as they pursued new paths. For many supporters, the impact was immediate and complicated. Om's history in the genre added weight. Having once delivered Om Nanan, one of BL's most iconic and enduring ships, expectations were high. Fans hoped Om Leng would become a legacy pairing too, a ship that could withstand industry churn and survive beyond its first project. When the news broke, reactions split. Some framed it as strategic, a necessary pivot for two actors with rising solo trajectories. But others, especially on Reddit, community forums, and niche ship spaces, pointed to the invisible engines behind the breakup. Heavy fan comparisons, pressure to replicate the magic of Om Nanan, and the slow creep of toxicity around the ship's ecosystem. For those who invested emotionally, the heartbreak wasn't just about the end of a pairing, it was about the loss of possibility, a future that never materialized. The "what could have been" lingered longer than the official statement, settling in that unique corner of fandom where disappointment mixes with nostalgia. Segment 2, Both New Year, a decade of love shattered by scandal. Before 2025, Both and New Year weren't just another BL-adjacent ship, they were the rare case where fantasy intersected with real life. They started dating long before the era of fanservice economics, back in 2012, when audiences weren't yet trained to expect on-screen pairs to also exist off-screen. Over 12 years, their relationship weathered career changes, fame, and the long fight for LGBTQ+ equality in Thailand. When gay marriage was finally legalized in the country, fans celebrated their engagement as a symbolic victory. Love that had survived time was now recognized by law. Then February 2025 arrived like a rupture. New Year publicly announced the breakup, taking responsibility for violating an important agreement, and apologizing directly, a rarity in celebrity culture where PR varnish is the usual protective armor. The frankness of the statement made it resonate. It didn't sound like branding, it sounded like someone trying to clean up the pieces of something sacred that had fallen apart. What followed stung further. Within weeks, sightings and photos of New Year traveling abroad with a new partner began circulating, igniting speculation that the breakup wasn't a sudden mutual decision but the aftermath of a longer unraveling. Fans dissected timelines, motives, and moral weight, as fandoms often do, but beneath all the noise was a quieter grief. This wasn't the typical BL heartbreak where contracts end, co-stars move on, and fan shipping quietly resets. This was a real relationship collapsing after more than a decade, a shared life, not just shared screen time. For many, it felt like witnessing trust erode in slow motion. What had once been a symbol of constancy, authenticity, and possibility instead became a lesson in how even the longest stories can end without warning. This moment in fandom history occupied a strange cultural space, part love story, part cautionary tale, part collective mourning ritual. Stories about real people aren't as tidy as television arcs, and this one left more questions than resolutions, an uncomfortable reminder that reality doesn't protect our favorites from heartbreak. Segment 3, Smart Boom, Contracts, Cancellation, and Chaos. Smart Boom, one of the defining ships of 2025, didn't implode due to scandal or heartbreak. This wasn't a lovers to strangers arc. This was a partnership undone by the cold machinery of the entertainment industry. By June and July, murmurs began circulating that Smart and the show's producers were in conflict. Details remained vague, but the effects were unmistakable. Planned activities as a duo were quietly shelved. Schedules froze. Announced events vanished from booking pages overnight. Facebook screenshots and fan accounts started doing what official statements refused to do: fill in the blanks. For a fanbase that viewed Smart Boom as one of the year's most electrifying chemistry bombs, this wasn't just a cancellation of appearances. It felt like a cancellation of possibility. There was never confirmation of personal issues between the two actors, but the aftermath painted its own picture: unfinished projects, halted promotions, and two career paths abruptly diverging. Boom continued forward with new opportunities and visibility, while Smart's next steps became shrouded in uncertainty, a cliffhanger without resolution. Cut to flashing news headlines, fan speculation threads, and reaction edits that capture the mood from disbelief to frustration to reluctant acceptance. The Smart Boom case is fascinating because it sits in the uncanny valley between romance ship and business partnership. The ship didn't break, the infrastructure did. In BL culture, where chemistry is a currency, losing potential hurts almost as much as losing a confirmed couple. Segment 4. Pong Tong, the breakup that felt like a business collapse. Pong and Tong radiated what fans called comfort chemistry. Their humor, subtle glances, and effortless body language made it seem as if intimacy was baked into their very presence. Viewers didn't just watch, they believed. They projected longevity onto the duo because it looked like Pong and Tong genuinely liked each other. Then, 2025 happened. By early 2025, Tong's agency announced a shift in his career trajectory: acting workshops, international collaborations, and non-romance roles. Pong, in contrast, was attached to a high-profile BL project demanding full ship branding and relentless fan engagement. The collision was inevitable. Pong needed the ship, Tong needed out. Key fissures beneath the surface. Brand identity conflict. Pong's popularity soared in the BL ecosystem, while Tong's management aimed to reposition him beyond it. Divergent career blueprints rarely coexist without friction. Strain of the fan economy. Shippers expected synchronized events, live streams, collabs, and constant crumbs. Tong began pulling back. Pong tried to maintain engagement without overstepping. On social media, perception is everything, and one side, trying harder, can feel like betrayal. Internal fatigue. BL ships often function like manufactured dating. Even when affection is real, the schedule mimics a full-time relationship: constant availability, joint branding, co-marketing, co-fandom. Not everyone is built for that stamina. Where they are now, Pong rides a wave of success. His BL project is trending, his fanbase is thriving, and he has a new pairing lined up for 2026. Tong is quietly sharpening his craft, appearing in indie films and international workshops. This breakup wasn't fueled by bitterness, it was business. Yet fans mourned as if the fantasy world they believed in had dissolved, replaced by the hard realities of career growth and creative direction. Segment 5. Mean Ping, the silent dissolution that stung. Mean Firovich and Ping Kritanun had a ship trajectory that felt almost inevitable. The chemistry during promotional cycles, the off-screen softness, and the feeling that they were genuinely comfortable with each other made fans imagine they'd be paired repeatedly. So it felt jarring when, by mid-2025, their ship was effectively declared, inactive, and separate projects were announced with total silence around their pairing future. Why the breakup hurt? The dissolution wasn't dramatic, it was clinical. Fans hate clinical. No closure means imagination has to fill the gaps. Possible underlying mechanics. Agency divergence. Ping's career momentum began tilting toward modeling and non-BL TV gigs, while Mean was aggressively courting BL lead roles and hosting opportunities. When two actors pursue different markets, pairing becomes costly for at least one of them. Strategic career maturity. The Thai BL industry in 2025 became obsessed with graduation. Many actors didn't want to be locked as ship boys forever. For Mean, especially, you could feel a hunger to rebrand beyond romance. Fanbase splitting. The Mean Ping fanbase was strong emotionally but not as large commercially. Agencies love numbers, and numbers began favoring new-gen ships by late 2024. Where they stand in 2025, both seem to have leaned into individual professional identities. Ping is thriving in fashion editorial spaces with surprising speed. Mean is building his brand as a versatile actor-host hybrid, with whispers about a move into production down the line. Together. No public animosity, but no crumbs either. The heartbreak here comes from the pure absence of storytelling. Sometimes the quietest breakups hurt the most. Segment 6. Great in, the breakup that struck, at the heart of chemistry believers. This one hurts different because Great Sapple and Insaran from One Good Day had chemistry that didn't feel manufactured. It wasn't polished or scripted, it was chaotic, playful, and surprisingly emotional on-screen. The kind of pairing that makes people fall in love with the genre again. Then came 2025, and the split wasn't quiet, it was simply unavoidable. By April 2025, multiple entertainment reviewers pointed out that In had transitioned toward more dramatic non-BL roles, and Great had signed 2 back-to-back BL commitments with different co-stars. The narrative became, they've outgrown the ship. What was actually happening was deeper. Roots of the breakup. Career gradient misalignment. In's management was steering him toward prestige dramas and fashion-endorsed projects. Great was essentially becoming one of BL's most reliable emotional leads. Both trajectories were successful, just not parallel. Fan pressure after success. The unexpected success of their series ironically hurt their longevity. Fans demanded a sequel, photoshoots, content, interviews, and crumbs. Agencies couldn't align budgets or schedules, and the longer things stalled, the colder the ship became. The real versus real problem. When chemistry feels real, fans start speculating. Speculation turns into entitlement. Entitlement turns into toxicity. Some corners of the fandom began attacking In for abandoning the ship for prestige. In's team started aggressively reducing joint appearances to protect him. Where they ended up. In is thriving in the mainstream, fashion weeks, magazines, movies, new drama deals. Great is thriving inside the BL space, more pairings, more series, more emotional lead roles. No public tension, but absolutely no rekindling signals either. The heartbreak here is existential. It makes fans confront the reality that chemistry doesn't guarantee sustainability. Why these endings hurt so much. BL fandom isn't just about ships on screen. It's about stories we connect to, relationships that feel real, and moments we invest in with open hearts. When a ship ends, we mourn not just an ending, we mourn change, uncertainty, and the sense that something once beautiful is gone. But 2025 also reminded us that endings aren't always endings. They're transitions, for actors, for careers, and for the fans who love these journeys. If we zoom out, 2025 wasn't just a year of breakups, it was a year where the BL industry matured. Ships used to be the primary marketing engine. In 2025, they became optional rather than mandatory. Agencies shifted from, keep the ship alive at all costs, to optimize talent career longevity. Fans felt abandoned. Actors felt freed. Capital felt satisfied. That triangle produces heartbreak almost by design.